A new children's book is exploring the importance of self-love. It's called Curly Girl, and its release comes on the heels of legislation that stops discrimination against textured hair in the workplace. The Crown Act was passed in Louisiana and fueled even more change. As of last month, cosmetologists will now be required to learn how to work with textured hair in order to receive a license. Curly Girl author and journalist Casey Ferrand is joining us now with how the book is aligned with that change that's happening in our state and really all across the country right now. Casey, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as always, Sheba.
Yeah, we're so excited for this book. It's much needed. It's a great story. What inspired you to create this?
Well, I was inspired by my own personal experience. Being a television news reporter for 14 years, 9 of those years was wearing my relaxed hair, chemically straightening my hair to fit into the perception of what TV news people should look like. And then in 2017, I decided I didn't want to put those chemicals in my hair anymore. So I stopped, and I ultimately started wearing my natural curly hair on television in 2017. And then following that, I met many young ladies and women who were inspired by that and were excited to see it. And there was one in particular, her name was Lindy, and she had this big, beautiful hair, big, beautiful personality. And her mom was telling me how people were trying to dim her light. And I was like, girls need to see themselves in positions of power and excellence, see themselves on the cover of a book. And so I created the book, and it's been amazing to see the response. Girls are, excited to see themselves on the pages of a book. And, I've actually had moms reach out to me and tell me, my daughter actually loves her curly hair now because of the book.
Wow. I love that so much. You really are changing lives. Representation is so important. And so let's talk about these changes that I kind of mentioned going into you. The Crown Act, the Board of Cosmetology now requiring that stylists know how to cut different textures of hair. These things seem like things that should have already been in place. But of course, we're not. It seems so late that we're getting to a place where, yes, all hairstylists should be able to do all types of hair.
Right. It's huge, first of all, for the state to say there needs to be more inclusion in hair care, that every stylist needs to have the skill set to be able to at least know how to cut a natural curly girl. And, I have women reach out to me all the time asking for styling tips, or at least asking for suggestions on where they can go to get their natural hair. And that shows that there is just not enough natural hair stylists out there in the market for people to just easily walk into a salon and know that the stylist behind that chair can know what to do with their texture.
Sure, and you mentioned it there. It is all about inclusion, making sure that everyone feels included. And for so long, that inclusion did not include women with textured hair.
Yeah, and I started perming my hair at the age of 9, and it was a decision my mom made because it was easier at the time, and I think it was more acceptable. The acceptable way to wear your hair. And I want girls to know that you can look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of how your hair grows from your head. And you shouldn't feel the need to fit into a box or feel accepted in any environment unless you accept yourself as you show up in the world.
Yeah, I think your message is so important, and I love that you target young girls because I think, as you said, it just became acceptable. I wore chemical relaxer for years. I think many young black girls did. It was just acceptable. You didn't even think of why you were putting these really harmful chemicals in children's hair.
Yeah, and I really hope that, us as parents, we can change the language surrounding this as well, that we're not, using words like, oh, it's more manageable, or right, your hair is more acceptable. So, it's tamed, or it's things like that. Like, we need to work on changing our language as we're molding the next generation of young girls.
Definitely. And listen, I have to share the story. Of course, I was there at your first book signing, was so excited. Casey was actually not there, guys, because she was giving birth, okay, to her beautiful young first son. Congratulations again. But I was like, yo, this is the go-getter woman. We need setting examples for other young women. She was on FaceTime in the hospital having contractions at her first book signing, guys.
It was amazing, and I appreciate you for coming and always being a supporter of the Curly Girl. My baby and my book we're born on the same day, so it's amazing.
That is beautiful. And how's he doing?
He's amazing. He's in the other room with my mom. He's holding him, keeping him quiet.
Good. All right. Well, you are a super mom, super woman, and setting such a great example for young girls, especially those with textured hair. Thank you so much for joining us, Casey.
Thank you.